you are probably the best person I know when it comes to like making your own merch, and being creative and just having like a ton of stuff available, really unique stuff. And it took me a while to figure out like, oh, hey, like you need to have merch as a wrestler. Like you need merch to sell at shows because you might walk away with a couple extra $100 that night. Like if you had a good night, like who knows, maybe you did something cool, you popped everyone, and you know, and it's that was like a big learning curve and learning experience for me where I just never wanted to invest in it, never wanted to deal with it. But it was after watching you and creating your own merch for shows that I started to take an interest in it. But I think for anyone who's out there, some of the younger guys or students that haven't invested or don't plan to or don't take it seriously, I just think you're a good example for that. You want to talk about what you do or how you do it or what you're doing now or some of the unique things that you've done previously?
Well, like for me, growing up, like, who didn't want a shirt of something they like? Like when you're a kid, you're like, oh, that movie was tight. Like, I wish I had a shirt of that. Or that wrestler's dope. I want his shirt. It just, everything I do is kind of like from the perspective of a child. Like, like I still like, I let nostalgia kind of run my life, but I feel like a positive way. And that's something I was like, okay, well, what's a kid gonna want? And I know as a kid, I wanted toys, and I wanted a shirt, and I wanted a shirt that fit me. That was a big thing for me as a kid. The WWF shirts started at an adult medium, and I didn't wear an adult medium until I was like 28. So like that was kind of a burn. So I always made sure that my merch, I try to make it appeal to wide audiences, and I try to make as many like sizes as I could. And it's scary when you're new because there's nothing worse than standing at the table and nobody even fucking looks at you. But that happens your entire career. So just get your dang merch. Invest in yourself because like you said, you can make a ton of extra money. I can't tell you how many times I've made 10 times my actual payout because I had shirts to sell. My first shirt was actually I ripped it off from behind the scenes thing on, I think it was Superstars, where Jericho was telling the world about Fozzy, but it was when they were separate people, Fozzy and Moon Goose McQueen. And one of the shirts he's wearing in the video says like, "We are huge rock stars" or whatever. And I was just like, I'm going to copy that. That's mine now. I'm a huge rock star. So I had a logo on the front, logo on the back. It was not cheap, but it was a finished total product. And I sold all of them immediately. And then I did a ringer tee. And I sold 12 in one night at SoCal Pro at one of them outdoor shows on the little soccer field. I sold 12 shirts. I was like, whoa, I'm making like extra cash this way. And so after that, I just never stopped.
You money. That's fuck you money in the pro wrestling world.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. When I walked to the back and everyone there had been wrestling 15 years longer than me, and I had sold 12 shirts for $20 each, I was like, hey, guys, just fanning it. and then, it was, you want your merch to stand out. When my next set of singles shirts were these bright neon orange and neon pink shirts. It was like a Scott Pilgrim parody. And, I had my brother-in-law do it. So, like, I made sure, like, a talented art, like, he's a storyboard artist. Like, he's an artist for a living. I went to somebody good and got it done. And it looked great. And it stood out on the table. It was black shirt, neon pink, neon orange. Who's this guy? And I learned, the most I learned about merch was from PWG. From being at the table with Chris Hero. Hustlin' Hero is what we call him. He always had a million options. He had, tons of different styles, different sizes, different cuts, DVDs. He had a little bit of everything. And so that's just what just watching those guys, like watching them make like $600 extra. Like, I think I was on two shows with Kevin Steen one weekend. He sold 98 shirts.
Jesus.
98 in two shows. I was on a PWG show with him and a Q Pro show with him. And I was just like I wanted to bar him. Like, he was just like, the lines were just so long, and like it was just a shirt every time, like no less than a shirt every time. DVDs, he was killing it. And so I just learned to have stuff that stands out, stuff you're proud of. You have to be proud of it because you're not going to, holler at a stranger to buy something from you if you're not proud of it. So it takes money to make money, especially when it comes to merch. You got to pay good graphic guys, you gotta get good stuff. Direct to garment is good for when you need to do a design that takes like a ton of colors. Sometimes it adds up too much. Direct to garment might be better. The screening is always going to be better. People want to be able to feel that on their shirt. That's quality. It's tangible, and that's important. And it doesn't really seem like it because we're like, well, my logo looks tight. It's like, yeah, but how long is it going to look tight? How many washes? You have to think about all that stuff. It's the same thing like when I was on the first time talking about professional language. Everything you do, you should be doing 100%. And now, ever since we were able to start, focusing on our adventures in space, that really allowed me to open up our merchandise opportunities. I wanted to make toys my entire life. I cared about toys my entire life. I've always wanted to be a toy maker. I used to design them for art projects and stuff in school. And I was just like, I'm just going to make my own damn toys. Who else is going to make a spaceship toy for the Rock Ness Monsters if not me, myself? So it's just one of those things, I'm very DIY, I'm in the garage making toys for our good pal Chris Terry right now, and it's fun for me. It's what I love to do, and it makes me extra money. People appreciate a handmade piece of art, and it goes a long way to in the fans' eyes when they see how much effort you're putting in. Fans know which wrestlers are screening their own shirts. They know who invested in that stuff so they can get it done themselves and help out a new design. That kind of stuff goes a long way with fans. You can impress them in the ring, and you can impress them at the table, and you can impress them with how much effort you're putting in to making sure they have a good overall experience with you as a brand and as a performer. All that stuff's important. And I'm by no means a master of it, but compared to a lot of people, I just bit the bullet, It takes money to make money. Spend that money, get that order of shirts, so that way people are walking billboard for you going forward. Hey, who's that? I've never seen that before. Oh, he's on the card tonight. Dope. His shirt looks cool. I'll pay attention. There it is. It's just one more person that's, thinking about you. You want people to think about you as often as possible. Out of sight, out of mind. And you can be in someone's sight if you've got good merch on somebody else. So that's my rant about merch.
What are some of the cool things? Because I thought there were some unique things you've done with Kevin recently. What are some of the
pieces that you've done in the last year or two?
Right now, Kevin is he's doing 3D printing, and so he's making these really cool classic NES style controllers that say Rock Ness Monsters. The start and the pause button say BHK and Yuma, and so like he's making those, and he made a toy of our original general in outer space in the Republic of Cosmic Knights. He's a little robot. He was an alien, got blown up. Now he's a robot. So Kevin made a little figure in honor of him. And then I have made micro machine ships of our ship, the Saurian 2. I made fully painted ones on the first time I did them, and that was really hard, but I was really proud of them. And then the second time around, I was able to release them in a 2-pack with the spaceship of our evil clones and Vermin and their little small fighter ship. So it's really cool. You get our ship and the enemy ship in one little pack, and I made them by hand.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I think it was the controllers that I saw recently where I saw it on Instagram or something and went, what the fuck is that? I've never seen that before. I have never seen anyone come close to anything this interesting for a piece of merch. And I was like, I don't know how much they're selling for, but they better be selling for a lot, because this is like this. If you're a wrestling fan, like, it was total collector's item.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's different. He brought one to the last bar show we did before all the shutdowns, or no, he brought two, and they sold right away.
Yeah.
And the fact that people see that he's making them, he's sitting there designing those on the computer. Like he's doing all this angles and math and all this stuff. He's putting the work in, and it's cool. And what's cool too about the controllers is I think he's gonna have it set up kind of like, I don't know if you've been to Disneyland and built the little astromech droids and Star Tours. But he's going to have it where you can pick your base and you can pick your A and B button in one color, your start and pause in another. So he's making it really customizable, so yours can be yours.
That's awesome. So when will they put Hogsmen on it?
Hey. I was actually, my head is always turning on what I can make for other people. A lot of times I don't have ideas for us, or the ideas I have for us are too grand. Like it's been a long process, but I'm working on actual articulated figures of the Rock Ness Monsters, like Jurassic Park scale from back in the day. But I can't do those right now. I need some more things. And so I was thinking of a little Hogsman style figure So I've been actually digging around through my toys looking for like a really like tough looking pig head and just some cool parts. So you guys might have some fun merch courtesy of me pretty soon if I can find the right parts.
Dude. Nice.
That's awesome.
Because that's what I love to do. I love looking at what is this guy like. Oh man, that guy's sick. He should have toys. You know, like that's just what I've done my whole life. If a movie didn't have toys, I would sit down and write what they should have been and draw them. So I don't know. That's what I do for fun.